I have bad news, guys. I cannot give away the UglyTruck because it sounds awful. I'm not talking about the engine. The engine's running great, sounds great, it's nice and quiet and smooth. I am talking specifically about the exhaust note. It sounds horrendous. And I can't have one of you driving around winning the UglyTruck and have it sounding like one of those clapped out North Carolina trucks where the back bumper scrapes on the ground and the front end's up in the air. That's not flying in my book. So we are today gonna fix this exhaust up and make it sound perfect, I hope. I'm actually gonna try a muffler that I haven't tried on a turbo setup. So that's what we're gonna do. If you haven't tuned into the channel in a while though, or if you're just new, you heard that right. I am giving away the UglyTruck. This is the truck that launched my YouTube channel over 5 years ago. I have probably thousands and thousands of hours of work into this truck. We've done everything front to back, top to bottom, and it's gonna be kind of hard to see this one go, but you can be the next owner. All you've got to do is go to tolmanperformance.com. You can read the official rules and you can pick up some merch. Every $5 that you spend is going to get one entry into the UglyTruck sweepstakes. And if I'm being honest with you, not as many people have entered as I would have hoped yet. So your odds of winning are actually pretty good. But enough about that. Let's get started on the truck. Today, we are going to fix the exhaust. We get a few upgrades on the interior. And number 3, a few things underneath. And finally, number 4, there's a couple of things that I've already upgraded. In fact, even before we went on Rocky Mountain Race Week that I haven't even shown you. So we'll cover some of that too. So let's start on the inside. Now, most of the interior on the UglyTruck was pulled from a Yukon Denali. So we've got like the instrument cluster that goes to 120 instead of 100. It's got kind of this dark grayish wood grain look to it. It's a different console. And one of the things I like the most about it, which is kind of gimmicky but kind of cool, is this little trip computer that we have down here. It just shows you, like fuel mileage, top speed, and a couple other random things like that. I wired this one up several years ago, but soon after the computer just quit working. So I've got a replacement one. And then the other thing that we're going to do is this truck has a CD changer in here, which nobody uses CDs anymore. And this thing is actually really heavy and it doesn't work. So I found a place that makes a replacement, like just a little cubby pocket thing that goes in place of that. So we're going to start by doing some upgrades to this Denali console. So I just went to eBay, I got a replacement, they call it a DIC, Driver Information Center. Just picked a random seller, and it turns out they're actually a viewer of the channel, a guy named Tyler Walker, I believe. He said, "Thanks for supporting my business, LTE, long live the 8.1. So Tyler gets a free shout out. If you need anything for your car or truck, I don't know what all he sells or not, but visit Walker Auto Salvage. That's his sticker. I don't actually know where he's from. I think it's back east somewhere, but check him out. And this guy should be a direct plug-and-play replacement. Also, if you want to wire one of these up, I have a video. It's like really old now, but I have a video showing all the steps. Yeah. It is definitely not 1998. Let's see. Menu, language, display. Somewhere near here there's a setting for top speed, which I used to like to keep going, because this, I think, if I remember right, would actually go up higher than the speedometer. Not that I condone speeding. Yeah, right there. It'll track your high speed. Got all this installed so long ago, but got everything working. Like, I'm pretty sure I had that hooked up, got the little lights hooked up. I grabbed this thing from eBay also. I forget who the seller was. They didn't leave me a note or anything like that, but it's just like a little 3D printed pocket that goes in place of the CD changer. It's not the sturdiest thing in the world, but it's better than just having a dumb CD changer that does nothing. and it gives you a little bit more storage space, and it looks like it just kind of slides in. Nothing wrong with that. Much better. I actually give props for that. That is a cool design. I remember I looked around for one when I put this together initially. I couldn't find one, so whoever sells those, that's perfect. I like it. Round one of the interior upgrades is done, but there's one more important thing that I need to fix, because you're going to notice it every time you hop in your new truck. And that's the steering wheel. Now, I really love this particular style of OEM wheel, but this one has just seen better days. It's kind of peeling off, and it's bugged me every single time that I drive the truck, but for some reason I just haven't ever got around to fixing it. But I am going to order another one, just a good OEM leather wheel. It'll clean it up. I hate the aftermarket ones for these trucks. Excuse me. So we'll get that taken care of, and before we go up in the air to do the exhaust, I'll show you a couple of things that we did before race week to make this truck just more drivable. Because again, it's a street truck. You're going to use it. You're going to put some miles on it, and all those little annoying things, just you can't have them. So the catch can, that's one thing I took care of way back before race week. Normally there's a filter on here. We just got some lines that run to each of the valve covers. Totally common on like a high performance engine. You got to let the engine breathe, let the crankcase vapors out. But on these trucks, on these catch cans, there's normally a filter up top, and the inlet for like the air that goes into the cabin is right behind it. So I hate that crankcase smell inside the truck. So I added one of those. It's kind of the old school drag race like exhaust suction thing. But basically it just runs down into the exhaust. It provides just the Venturi effect, gives a little bit of vacuum. It helps put vacuum on the crankcase, and also evacuates that vapor and funky smell so you don't smell it when you're driving in your new truck. So that's one more thing we fixed. We'll get the truck up in the air. I'll show you another, and then tomorrow morning the muffler will be here, and we'll get started making that exhaust sound awesome again. So there's one more thing that we did change under the truck back before race week, which you haven't seen, and this is ironic that I installed this part because we needed it, but just in a different place. So this guy right here, we did install a drive shaft safety loop in case of a U-joint failure. I installed this one, braced it off the transmission cross member, got it welded in. This thing is like unbelievably sturdy, and per NHRA rules, you got to be within 6 inches of a U-joint, which this one is. But the irony is, that's not the U-joint that failed. The rear U-joint is the one that failed, and I didn't end up installing a loop back there. But I have another one. We are going to install that, and we'll get it squared away. In fact, it took out my little gas tank heat shield, which I do have another one. We're going to replace that again at some point before the giveaway is over. But today we're doing exhaust. It's kind of funny how over time your exhaust preferences change. When I was growing up, it was Flowmaster 40s on everything, that classic chambered American muscle car sound. Everybody had them, everybody loved them. Then I kind of got away from the Flowmaster stuff. I put MagnaFlows on for a long time, but now I'm kind of back on a Flowmaster kick. But it's not the standard traditional chambered muffler. When I did the S10 exhaust last winter, I used the Flowmaster Pro Series, which is kind of a round muffler, and it has the, I don't know what they call it on the inside, but to me, it's almost the perfect sound. It's not too quiet, not too loud. It does not drone, and it takes away all of that obnoxious chopping sound, which I hate. So, hoping it'll do the same thing on the UglyTruck. We've got the space, but here's the funny part. Back when I built the first exhaust for this truck, in fact, from the middle of the truck back, has been on this since day one. I did have a 4-inch Flowmaster Pro Series on the truck, but I bought that muffler ages ago, and they've changed a little bit since then. So the new one I got, it's a little bit larger, same 20-inch length, but this has a 9-inch diameter, where the other one, I feel like it was 8 or 7. But anyway, I think it'll still fit. We took some measurements. My only slight worry is we don't want to make it too quiet. But I think it's going to be just about perfect. So let's get to work on the exhaust and hear how this thing's going to sound. Okay, first things first, is the new muffler even going to fit? Well, it's tight, but it fits. And if it fits, it ships. So this is kind of an interesting full circle moment now that I'm thinking about it. One of the very first things that I did on this truck was install a big Flowmaster Pro Series. And now one of the very last things I'm gonna do on this truck is install the big Flowmaster Pro Series. I don't think I mentioned it, but one of the reasons why I took it off, and I took it off way back when we still had like the stock front exhaust, the stock cat, it just wasn't loud enough at the time. But everybody knows those front catalytic converters, they do most of the lifting for taking noise out, so I think it's gonna sound great. The other thing is this will be an easy install because this is the extension I had to add on when I put this muffler on, so just trim right here, make this pipe round again from where some U-joint hit it. We're in business. We're going to need the hanger, so I'll just chop that off. Here's my only complaint about mufflers like this, is they know you're going to weld them in, or they should be welded in, so like just stop paint there. Keep that bare metal. So normally I'll go ahead and kind of jam a muffler on like this, start the truck up, hear how it sounds, but we're going to skip that step today because I am pretty dang confident that I'm going to like the sound of this muffler. So we're going to go straight to welding. And we say it all together now. That's not going anywhere. So first thing I noticed, that idle, it's not a whole lot quieter. It has a similar tone. So that's a good thing. I like how it sounded in idle before. So we'll see how it sounds when we rev it up and get on the throttle. I definitely think it cuts down that sound. That's what we want. Oh yeah. So much better. Success. Now I am not embarrassed to give away the worst sounding turbo truck on the planet. I should have done that forever ago. Now, the one thing I will say I noticed, just like cruising along here, 52, 55 miles an hour, the cruising volume is actually a fair amount quieter, which is good. Because, like, if you're taking a long drive or something like that, you don't want that annoying, loud sound. But when you get on the throttle, you do want to hear it. So I'm pretty happy. I am. Yep. You guys are gonna love this truck, I'm telling you. You are gonna love it. Your driving record may not, but you'll love it. It's Friday, which means the work week has come to an end, which means we are now 1 week closer to giving away the ugly truck. And one of you is gonna get to take it home. I know it's like beating a dead horse. I repeat it all the time. You guys are probably getting tired of my little short content that I put up throughout the week, but in order for this giveaway to work, you gotta enter to win. So here's my second reminder of the video. Go to tolmanperformance.com. Every $5 that you spend is gonna get you one entry. You can read all the official rules there and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm really glad we took the time to fix the exhaust up, because the old setup, it was awful. Like, it didn't have any good tone, had that awful racket, and I'm glad we got it fixed up. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how it sounds. And I think you are gonna be too. So the $1 million question though is, what am I gonna do next? Now, this truck, it honestly represents so much work for me. I have put so much thought and effort into, you know, the build and the direction that it's taken and things like that. And this has been a weird summer for me. Like, normally I say this all the time. Excuse me, it's really hot today. I say this all the time, but I normally have like a whole year of content planned out in advance, or I try to, but this has been a weird year. I haven't really been able to make those decisions yet. But now that we have the giveaway sort of rolling, it's in progress and things like that, I can now take a second, take a breather, and think about what we're going to do next. So we have a couple of choices. The S10 is sort of kind of done. We could dive into the next phase of that build. That's an option. But if I'm being honest, I'm not super excited about it for some reason or other. Like I've built trucks for my entire life. I want to branch out. But I also have the four-wheel drive drag truck. So I also want to get going on that again. But then I also want to do a late model truck. I want to do a Corvette. I want to do a Camaro. I want to do a square body Chevy. I want to do a Duramax. I just don't know what to do yet. But before the end of this year, we'll try to get a new project. But the four-wheel drive drag truck, that is, I promise, that is going to get some attention paid to it because it deserves it. And that's part of the reason why I'm getting rid of the UglyTruck, is so I can focus on the four-wheel drive drag truck. So I'm excited. Thank you guys, everyone, honestly, who has entered to win. Thank you so much. It's really a big help. Thank you to people who just watch the channel, for sharing the videos even. YouTube is a tough business. It's changing a little bit, but I am still very lucky to be able to do what I enjoy and share it with you guys. So thank you for watching. Come back next week. We've got some more stuff to finish up on the UglyTruck. And then before you know it, we'll have that drag truck back in here and we'll be making more progress on that.